Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Marchich here with your outlook for March 20th, 2018. Today is the first day of spring, arriving at 12:15 this afternoon. Although Mother Nature is not going to cooperate, not only today, not only tomorrow, but also much of this upcoming week. So we're going to be below average temperatures yet, and we're going to be dealing with a winter storm. It's going to come in two parts. If you followed along on our with our website with the weather alert maps page, we had a final call for today, which is the snow and ice. Not a whole lot, but enough to be disruptive for southern areas, and then a significant to major snowfall expected for Wednesday in part 2. So this is a two-wave system. I'm going to walk you through this and show you what we're dealing with. Of course, this is the first wave. This is looking at this morning. We're going to have some precipitation moving in right along the southern areas, and I'm going to get into a better perspective of this. I'm going to go through what the global models are doing first. You have a primary low that is right near the eastern Kentucky and eastern Tennessee border, somewhere around that vicinity, that's going to be transferring its energy to a secondary right near North Carolina and Virginia. Now, we were talking about this all week, about this transfer happening, and earlier in the week it was up here in West Virginia transferring down to this area. More to the Delmarva was transferring, so they couldn't really figure out where exactly the transfer point was going to be, but we're starting to come to a focus with that now of where that will take place. And the initial wave is associated with the primary, so you get some overrunning precipitation, some warm air advection, and that's going to lead to some snow mixed with sleet. This is not going to be a big snow event during the day today. Now, when you get out here in these areas, which is just on the outer western fringes of our coverage area and points west, places like Altoona, out here in Bedford County, Franklin County, maybe just west of the Harrisburg area, you're going to get into some accumulating snow today. And further east, I think it's going to be more of a snow and sleet mixture, snow, sleet, and even rain mixture today that we're going to be dealing with. And again, I'll get into those precipitation type maps again the next frame. Then this transfer is going to happen overnight. We're going to pop a secondary right about here, again, near the just off the coast of the North Carolina and Virginia border. Now, this is going to be our system that's going to evolve for Wednesday and bring us some snow across the region. This is going to be a little bit colder on Wednesday. It starts moving up to the north, and then it starts to occlude and retrograde. So this is going to be, there's going to be some upper air energy that's going to kind of dive into this here and grab it. So it's going to be coming up to the north here. It's going to do one of these numbers like this, a little loop-to-loop, kind of almost stall, and then shoot out like this, okay? And then head up to Nova Scotia after that point. So that's basically the path that it's going to take. It's just because this upper level low that is their kicker energy that's going to move in, is going to grab this and it's temporarily loop it and retrograde it, so it's going to occlude and then head eastward after that lets go of that. So that's what's going to give us our snow, and this process is going to happen through the day on Wednesday, and it's going to wrap up here on Wednesday evening. You see that process, see how it just looped and grabbed, and then it finally starts to kick east here, and then finally northeast and heads towards Nova Scotia after that point. Let's get over to the NAM now. This is the new one that ran this evening, and this is going to show precipitation types here. So anything in the orange is going to be sleet. The reddish or pinkish color here is freezing rain. The blue is the snow. Of course, green is rain. Here's your system developing, and this is looking at Tuesday morning, and this is 11 a.m. So we're going to go forward from this point, and you can see the NAM is doing the very same thing. It brings this secondary up, and watch this low as it continues to move up. It moves up the coast. It brings up the wintry precipitations. You got a snow sleet mix out here, snow out in this area, and then further south you get freezing rain and rain. And then this is, as we head into the overnight period, this will start to, you're going to get a little bit of a lull overnight. And then once we get into the overnight period here, this low is going to start moving up the coast. And then see how it just went, it's going to go like this, wrapping around like this and head out, just like the global models are showing. It does a little loop here from here to here to here. And then it finally starts to move east after that point. But see what this does, though, by doing that, is going to change any mixture that's going on Wednesday morning. This is early Wednesday morning, and it's going to change it over to heavy snow, and you're going to get around the outside, on the outer periphery of this low here. You can see this little corridor right here. This is called a cold conveyor belt of heavy precipitation or deformation banding that's going to take place here on the northwest side. It's wrapping around. If you looked at our first call, or excuse me, our second call for Wednesday, which of course will be updated today. We had a jackpot area trying to identify this. Now I just got done talking to my buddy from Lebanon County Weather, Justin Snyder, and he's telling me to not go crazy with these amounts here because we got burned the last time. And he's very right, because this cold conveyor belt is very difficult to figure out exactly where this is going to set up. But we're going to do our best to try to outline that. So we're not going to go with go crazy with the amounts. There's going to be some things working against this. It's, of course, falling in the daytime. It's the month of March, and it's later in March. So it's not like this is early March or February or even January. So we have less issues to deal with as far as sun angle, solar radiation, that kind of thing. You're going to have the heavy snow that's going to compact on itself. So you might have 10 inches fall, but maybe only realize 7 or 8 because it compacts under its own weight. So this was some things we took into consideration when we did our second call. We're going to do that again with the final call today. But some of these heavier rates will come down 1 to 2 inches or maybe 3 inches per hour if you're under that heavier band. And that's all a process of this going up here like this and doing a little loop-de-doop and almost near stall in the retrograde, and then it's going to eventually go like this. Okay, so that's the path it's going to take. The NAM does the same thing here at 12Z, so we're not really thinking that there's going to be large-scale shifts at the time this video is recorded, but we all remember what happened on March 7th when it did shift last minute, so we're not going to jump the gun on that just yet, and things can definitely change, which is why we're going to have a final call map at 5 p.m. today. So just keep that in the back of your mind. This is a very volatile situation. You're actually relying on some energy pieces in order to make this happen and work exactly the way this is showing here. And there are things that can go wrong. Here you can see that cold conveyor belt continuing into the evening on Wednesday. And then after that point, this is going to start to drift off to the northeast, and it's going to take the snow with it. And in the evening, we are going to wind down with the snow. So that's our snow system. Again, Weather Alerts has our second call. And the first call, or the final call for today's system, which is largely for just southern areas right down in here, nearest the Mason-Dixon line. Parts of South Jersey and Delaware are also included, and of course Maryland, Northern Virginia, southern Pennsylvania. Those are the areas we're watching today. I think further north you're going to run into confluence, which is some dry air that's working in against that from the north. That will be there present for the first wave. The second wave is going to be retreating, so I don't really think it's an issue for the second time around. Okay, so that's just for the first storm. That's why we're going to be cutting down accumulations during the day, and it's not going to come too far north, we don't think. Maybe up to I-78 or thereabout, but that's about it. Okay, that's with Wave 1 today. You can check that out on the Weather Alert Maps page, and it will go through the breakdown of what to be expected. Of course, that's going to be updated. At least the Wednesday call will be updated with a final call today at 5 o'clock. So going forward from this point, we have a dry out period from Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's going to be partly cloudy on Thursday, mostly sunny on Friday and Saturday. Temperatures are going to still be below average, kind of like in the low to mid 40s kind of thing. Maybe you're close to the mid 40s down here in Philly. Once we get into the weekend, though, this is Saturday. All right, and then we have the system off to our west. We have to watch it very closely because it's now starting to go a little bit further south, which is good. Which would mean we would avoid most of the rain/snow showers. But if this does venture a little bit further to the north here, we could get into that as it was shown on previous runs. We're going to watch this closely. There is a chance for, right now we're going to put about a 40% chance of snow or rain showers here in the Saturday night and Sunday time frame for parts of our coverage area. We're going to watch that closely too. Does not look like a big deal. This is moving a lot faster, not as amped, not as much moisture to work with that one. And then Monday we get back to partly cloudy skies as we dry out, the system moves away. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Marchus. That is your outlook for March 20th, 2018. Have a great Tuesday.